The United Nations World Conference on Racism in Durban, South Africa, now known as the Durban Conference, in 2001 was a hate fest. The United Nations Forum of organizations that had tables and posters and people working and riling up was full of images that made it very clear that they considered Israel to be an apartheid, Nazi, racist, criminal state, unworthy of standing at the United Nations and unworthy of equality. Because I had the privilege of serving in my capacity as president of B'nai B'rith International at that time, I served as the head of delegation to the United Nations World Conference Against Racism in Durban, South Africa. We led the walkout of all the Jewish organizations after a press conference there on the grounds of the United Nations. We condemned the hatred, but we recognized the hatred. And we thought we would have a message when we left Durban to talk about the hatred that we felt there on the grounds of the United Nations. But barely a week later, 9/11 happened, an attack upon the United States. It was bigger than the attack we felt upon Israel and the Jewish people there at Durban. And the Durban conference was sort of forgotten in the context of 9/11, because what our country and freedom-loving countries around the world have dealt with over the last decades since 9/11 is enormous. What we as Americans have had to go through is enormous. It has been life-altering. But let's remember, what occurred on the grounds of the United Nations Forum and the United Nations Conference in Durban was not by chance. It was by design. There was a plan, a scheme, and a design to see to it that the world would see Israel as an apartheid, criminal, racist state. And over the last 10 years, they have followed that line, and not by chance. Taking to the International Court of Justice a request for an advisory opinion requested by the United Nations General Assembly, an advisory opinion on the legality of Israel's terrorism prevention security fence, otherwise referred to as the separation barrier or the wall, is all part of the plan and designed to label Israel as an apartheid, racist, criminal state. And now we fast forward to 2011. It makes no sense, and therefore it's not by chance, that tomorrow in the halls of the United Nations there will be a commemoration, an event that will look back at the Durban Conference of 2001. And it'll look back for the purpose of applauding it, of reinvigorating it, of reminding people that there was a program adopted. And that program was designed, and remains designed to label Israel as a second-class, unworthy, apartheid, racist, criminal state. And therefore, what we've experienced over the last 10 years and over the last many decades is this plan and design to delegitimize Israel as a nation state and to attack the good name of the Jewish people, our history, and the good name of Israel as a democratic bastion in the Middle East. In holding this conference, it was important to us to do this briefing tonight to remind people of the context of what we've been through in the last 10 years and more, so that we can be more aware of the need for all who love and respect Israel and the Jewish people to stand up with pride, to speak out with strength and knowledge, and to see to it that our voices collectively are heard around the world, that we are respecters of human rights. We are lovers of dignity. We are committed to a rich history and culture and past and education. And we are committed to democracy. We are committed to equal rights. We are committed to the concept of the equality of all men and all people. For anyone on the grounds of the United Nations to say otherwise is itself wrong, hatred, and itself constitutes an illegal act. Together, let us stand up to put down those words and to stand proudly on behalf of the rich culture and history of Israel and the Jewish people.